This is the town site of Skidoo. There's nothing left but some trash. Yeah, some trash. Mostly a tent city. But what I really wanted to take you here to show you is what's down the way. So let's go down to where the mines are at. We're gonna park in front of that gate right there. Oh, look at the views, man. No, I can't. So this is the mill at Skidoo, and what's interesting about this mill is that it is, aside from the exterior walls, the metal cladding and the roof and all that, the mill is pretty much intact, and most of the equipment is still here, including the amalgam table and the hammer mill. I think it's a 10 stamp mill. So so the Skidoo mine was one of the largest producing gold mines, along with the Keen Wonder mine. This mine was in operation up in through the early 1900s, and I think it kind of petered out in the 1920s. It was dormant for a decade, and then mining resumed in the 30s briefly. That's when this deck was added to the ore bin. Prior to the 1930s, the ore was loaded here off of carts and wagons, and in the 30s they used dump trucks. You know, technology. And you're not supposed to walk on this, but
Rick.
I think I'm going to violate a little bit.
Rick.
You stay there. I want to show you. No, you stay there. You used to drive dump trucks on this. So I'm walking the timbers. So the ore would get dumped into these bins where it would stockpile, and then they would release the ore into a jaw crusher, which would reduce that to gravel. So let's head down there. It's at this point in the edit that I realize that I'm a stupid goof, and I hit time lapse instead of record. So I'm going to have to stop here periodically and show you what's going on. This scene is by far the most important scene in the entire video. It's the whole reason I wanted to take you up here and show you this mill site, because it's complete with the hammer mills and the amalgam tables. And I screw it all up after months and months of planning by hitting the wrong button on my GoPro camera. So I'm going to have to pause here periodically and show you what's going on. So at this point, I'm showing you and explaining the 15 stamp mill, and explaining how the amalgam tables tie into this, and how the ore comes down the chute, gets pulverized into a powder. That powder flows across with the aid of water, flows across the amalgam tables, which are copper plated sheets coated with mercury, and the gold sticks to the mercury. And once the mercury becomes impregnated with gold, they scrape the mercury off the amalgam tables, and they burn off the mercury and collect the gold that way. And then whatever doesn't stick to the amalgam tables and to the mercury, that slurry goes into the cyanide tanks, and they separate the gold chemically. I'm sorry, but given the fact that we're under quarantine and there's travel restrictions in place and all that kind of stuff, I don't perceive that I'll be getting back up here anytime soon. It's only been 12 years since I've been up here, so it's highly unlikely that I'll come up here anytime this year. Sorry, I'm just gonna have to make do with what I have here.
I don't know for sure, but I'm going to venture a guess to say that these sands
At one time were ore that was processed. Once the looks like some of that, here's amalgam, or not, these are the cyanide tanks, and then everything else would be run downhill, run down to leach tanks. Several tanks down there. I'm not an expert, so looks like, you know, I don't know how this worked. Oh, the slurry would get dumped into this, and then, you know, whatever gold would, okay, this is how it works. So the gold that would fall out of solution would get collected in the mercury. The slurry that didn't, the slurry that was left still had gold in it, so that would get dumped down in here and it would go into these tanks where it would get separated out, cyanide leach tanks. And then in all likelihood that just got, they pulled the plug on it and dumped the stuff that so there's probably a lot of heavy metal contamination down there. Just dump it into the valley. Zero fucks. But as I understand it, mining continued here briefly in the 30s, and then it's been shut down ever since. Look at the stonework up here. That's what it looked like back in the day. Notice the water flying out of this flue here. Not a bad view for a workplace. Skidoo is one of those sites that really demands an entire day to explore all the ruins here. There's a lot of mines and shafts, and a lot of them are blocked off. You can't get to them. I would say probably most of them are, but there's a lot to see here. But that's kind of the crown jewel, and it's so remote that, you know, not too many people come out here to see it. The last time I was out here in Skidoo was in 2008. That was before these things were around, and we drove out here, me and my wife and our dog, and we spent a few hours out here. We didn't even know that was here. I've been meaning to come up here to see this for at least 2 years, and I've been trying for the last 2 months to find a window in the weather that can coincide with our schedule to be able to come up here. And instead of staying at home and buying into all the bullshit with the coronavirus, figured I think we're pretty safe coming out here and doing an explore today. So unfortunately, that's all we have time for today here at this site. Ooh, sparkly. Sparkly. And so I'm gonna call it. Thanks for coming with us. If you like this video, smash the like button and share it with your vast social media network. If you haven't done so yet, what do you want me to do? What should I tell them to do?
Give them 500,000 likes.
What about subscribing?
Subscribers.
Okay, 5,000 subscribers.
Also comment. Also give me 500,000 subscribers. I'll make another video.
I'll never make another video then. So if you haven't done so yet, I'd like to invite you at this time to click the subscribe button. And if you do, please click the little bell icon that's right next to it. That way YouTube will let you know the next time I upload a video. If you'd like to support the channel, there's a few ways you can do that. You can check the links in the description. Okay. There's links to Amazon affiliate links, PayPal, and Patreon. Click those to see if that's something you're interested in doing. Thank you in advance if you decide to. If you can't afford to do that, then it means that we're probably related. So until next time, you have fun, stay safe, shoot straight, keep your powder dry, have a splendid day. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.